Oko shepi and then G, le kushile kwa sa. Oshepi, fly for your man there. It is late. I never.
We not gonna sit down the look. Make them come report our girls. Everybody will rise up. We no fighting, we are just up. No be so. No be so. We gonna share every day. People just a show. So family was wiped back Fulanis. So Jackie boy used to call them terrorists. We touch them the KANU, you go cause war. We touch it on the bow, you go cause war. Makana Prugo no Nanga Wamunelua. Hang when you find for another. It's not the time we go change up for them. Change up for them, tell them we know this. When you go pull your book up a boya. They might not fire up by your book. IPOB people have been marginalized. IPOB have been brutalized. We not go sit down there.
Purchase your tracks today.
Make them come kill all of us. We not go sit down there. Look. We not go take our life. We not go sit down there. Look. Bring them from the house like us. We not go sit down there. Look. Make them come report our girls.
Purchase your tracks today.
Instead of up, they take us down. Instead of right, they take us left. The change. They promise to change, but we no see the change. Why you not let Biafra go? Are you not tired of killing them? There's not the time when we go send up for them. Send up for them, tell them we don't be zombie. We no go sit down there, look. Make them go kill all of us. We no go sit down there, look. Make them go check our lives. We no go sit down there, look. Make them go our house like us. We no go sit down there, look. Make them go report our girls.
Hello, good evening, Biafrans. Good evening, everybody. You're welcome to this program. Good evening. Welcome once again. My name is MAZI Patrick DK, and I want to welcome each and every one of us to this wonderful, this evening program where we'll be discussing. I already put it out there that you should invite friends, well-wishers, enemies, and everybody that cares to know. Because today we'll be talking about amnesty and political solution for the freedom of MAZI NNAMDI from detention, and freedom of every Biafran from any detention in the zoo called Nigeria. And today we'll be dissecting, because we've seen politicians, we've seen lawyers coming out to profile this same thought for political solution and amnesty, including the ruling party APC itself, saying that they are ready for that. Political solution should not be ruled out. Malami, in one of his interviews, said that political solution cannot be ruled out in resolving the issues of the detention, the extraordinary rendition of the leader of IPOB, MAZI NNAMDI. And that brings us to today's discussion to talk about it. We have also seen people, trying to give the amnesty or political solution, to give it their own interpretation. Even within the struggle, we've seen people coming out to talk about the struggle being sold as a result of the proposed political solution or amnesty, as the case may be. We've seen these few days, Reno Omokri, former aide to Goodluck Jonathan, also put out a twist telling the Igbo leaders what they would have done when they met the man in Aso Rock, that they would have proposed an amnesty for the leader of IPOB and Biafrans in general. And that is bringing us to the discussion today to talk about amnesty for MAZI NNAMDI KANU and amnesty for Biafrans, IPOB, and political solution for the release of the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra. I will be talking about it, and I'll be playing you a clip where a foremost lawyer actually gave his own thought about the proposed amnesty or political solution. Femi Falana in Arise Television gave an insight of what he thinks should be done. And in his insight, he made certain points that contradict. You know, in the zoo called Nigeria, lawyers, they contradict themselves all the time, simply because when it comes to the issue of IPOB, the moment you step into the arena to talk about IPOB and you want to play a double game, you end up contradicting yourself. When it comes to the issue, we've seen that when it comes to the issue of NNAMDI KANU, people always mesmerize themselves when they bring the argument to make it favor the zoo or make them sound neutral. On this interview, Femi Falana laid his heart out on what he thinks. And what we'll be doing here is to pick the loophole. So as you are following, I want you to pay attention to what he has to say and how he narrated from the beginning to the end, because it is very, very important that we take every detail and we'll be analyzing it. And I will also be opening the line for people to call in as we move forward to bear their mind, bring their thought to this discussion.
Igbo leaders met with President Buhari a few days ago. And the main subject of discussion was the need to find a political solution to the continued trial of NNAMDI KANU, leader of the indigenous peoples of Biafra. And the president said, well, he will look into the request. But in any case, he would not want to interfere with the judiciary or violate the principle of separation of power. But can the president take a decision within the purview of Section 174 by directing the Attorney General of the Federation to enter a nolle prosequi?
Well, thank you very much. You will recall that a couple of weeks back, the Attorney General of the Federation, Mr. Abubakar Malami, did indicate that the cases of NNAMDI KANU and Sunday Adeyemo
Sunday
Igboho might be resolved politically. In the case of KANU, frankly speaking, the charges can hardly be proved. One of the counts is sedition. Sedition was pronounced illegal and unconstitutional in 1983 in the case of Arthur Nwankwo and the state. So I don't know, I can't see how some of those charges will stand in law. So the choice before the government is to have this matter resolved politically. In the case of Sunday Igboho, the government has not filed a request in the Benin court for his extradition. I believe the government is also taking its time to resolve this matter politically. More so that the High Court in Oyo State has said that organizing rallies to demand for demand for self-determination is not illegal under our law. So I believe the government has no choice but to resolve these matters politically. More so that the IPOB could be said to have extended the only branch to the government with respect to the gubernatorial election just concluded in Anambra State. If IPOB had not suspended hostilities in that state, there's no way you could have had the election. So I believe the government has taken cognizance of all the facts and circumstances of these cases and has therefore resolved to handle them politically. With respect to Section 174, the Attorney General does not need to take instructions from the President having regard to the state of the law. The Constitution has empowered him to discontinue any case at any state in the public interest. And this case suggests that the government has to intervene. If the Attorney General does not even exercise his powers, the President can, under Section 175 of the Constitution, grant amnesty. And that has happened before. I defended Henry Oka, who was charged. I think it was a 62-count charge. We raised a plenary objection against 59 of the 62-count charge. We won. The remaining 3, we also raised an objection. It was at that stage that the late President Umaru Yar'Adua asked for political resolution. And so that was how we resolved that case. And the guy, Henry Oka, was quite influential among the militants. So he was the one that went from one camp to the other to preach, peace. And that was how the Niger Delta militants decided to give peace a chance. I believe if the same approach is adopted by the government this time, we also can have a restoration of law and order in the southeast, in the southwest. But the government must be ready to engage and look at the circumstances that led these young people to declare a war against the neo-colonial state of Nigeria. So that's my own position on the matter. So the government has to move very speedily.
Yes. Welcome back, guys. Welcome back. We've seen what Femi Falana has to say as regard to the issue of amnesty and political solution. What actually drew my attention was his earlier assertion, which we have been saying for a very long time. We have been saying it for a very, very long time. What he just said, even from a layman's view, let us take the clip very short. I will take that clip at that point where he said what he said, where our analysis is going to begin. I'm going to stop the video, then return back. Stay tuned, please.
Igbo leaders met with President Buhari a few days ago, and the main subject of discussion was the need to find a political solution to the continued trial of NNAMDI, KANU, leader of the indigenous peoples of Biafra. And the president said, well, he will look into the request. But in any case, he would not want to interfere with the judiciary or violate the principle of separation of power. But can the president take a decision within the purview of Section 174 by directing the Attorney General of the Federation to enter a nolle prosequi?
Well, thank you very much. You will recall that a couple of weeks back, the Attorney General of the Federation, Mr. Abubakar Malami, did indicate that the cases of NNAMDI KANU and Sunday Adeyemo
Sunday
Igboho might be resolved politically. In the case of KANU, frankly speaking, the charges can hardly be proved. One of the kinds.
Femi Falana here said that in the case of MAZI NNAMDI KANU, that the case cannot be proved. Femi Falana, this is a senior advocate of the zoo called Nigeria, and he said that in the case of MAZI NNAMDI KANU, that none of the charges can be proved. And this is what we have been saying for a very, very long time, that Nigeria do not have any case against MAZI NNAMDI KANU. And one of the cases he said that cannot be proved, in fact, one of the major cases in which he's being charged for treason is the charge for secession or sedition, somebody who wants to pull out of the entity called Nigeria. And he quoted a law and also quoted a case that have happened in the past where the judgment was in favor of those who want to secede from the zoo called Nigeria. We have been saying that Nigeria in the first place abducted MAZI NNAMDI KANU in Kenya without even going through the normal extradition procedures according to international law. This APC Buhari government abducted, kidnapped MAZI NNAMDI KANU in Kenya without going through the normal protocol, without going through the normal process of extradition. That is another crime, international crime. They broke international law. They carried out extraordinary rendition on the leader of IPOB, MAZI NNAMDI KANU, despite the fact that they did not even have a case against him, which is already confirmed here. You're hearing it. From these are the, when you talk about legal luminaries of the zoo, he's one of the best brain in the legal atmosphere, in the legal entity that represent the zoo. In fact, almost every case in Nigeria, he's handling them. And he's here telling you that Nigeria do not have a case against the leader of IPOB, MAZI NNAMDI KANU. Now, this is where the issue of the political solution comes in. If you do not have a case against somebody, for example, how do you now start talking about giving the person an amnesty when you cannot even prove your case? Besides, before you give somebody an amnesty, you are supposed to have judged that case and get to the end of it. Where you find the person guilty, you cannot start talking about forgiveness of sin. So how do you grant an amnesty to a man who you have not even been able to prove his case? You have not even been able to sit down to talk about the crime that you are accusing him of committing. How do you start granting amnesty to indigenous people of Biafra for trampling on their right. On their right, you deny them the right for referendum and you say you are granting them amnesty. The demand for the indigenous people of Biafra is simple. Give us referendum to determine if we would or if we should remain in Nigeria or not. And you have been killing, pillaging, destroying lives and property, arresting and detaining people, and you turn around again to say, no, we don't have any case. We cannot prove our case against you, but we will give you amnesty. Does it make any sense to you? Because in my own understanding, a political solution can also be part of amnesty. But when you talk about political solution in what sense? That is, when you talk about political solution, you should be able to tell us. In what sense are you talking about political solution? That means you want to settle out of court. Now, do you want to settle out of court on the basis of your own decision or determination of what goes outside the court? Because if Nigeria decide, Buhari and the APC decide that they are going to settle the issue of Biafrans out of court, then they should start talking about how we can now sit down to discuss our demand. Not Nigeria or APC Buhari dictating to us what we should be doing. If there is going to be a court settlement, it is important that the two parties sit together and dialogue on how to resolve their differences. That is what we expect. You cannot talk about political solution where you have to be the one to determine what happens and how it goes. Because at the end of the day, Biafrans too should have a say in that political discussion. Because even if we go to war with Nigeria, after the fight, we are still going to have a political solution. So if we are going to have a political solution with the zoo called Nigeria, then we should be able to sit down and place our demand on the table. But in a situation of amnesty, we don't have the opportunity, we don't have the possibility to place our demand on the table. So when we talk about political solution and amnesty, it has to be defined. And you can only grant an amnesty to somebody who have defaulted. You can only grant amnesty to somebody who have been found guilty. MAZI NNAMDI KANU his case have not been judged. He has not been found guilty in any way. So, because a lot of people have given their own interpretation of political solution. A lot of people come online, they don't say the struggle, that they talk of a political solution. They try to create narrative that does not exist. Say they don't go sit down with elders, they agree on political solution. But there have not been any defined political solution so far. Because the political solution we are looking at is a political solution that gives us the possibility to conduct a referendum. Because that had always been the position of Biafran people. A political solution that grants the Biafran people to decide if they still want to remain in Nigeria or not. That is the political solution Biafrans are looking up to. And anything outside that is completely unacceptable. If MAZI NNAMDI KANU definitely is coming out, the Nigerian government should be able to sit down with him to work out a political solution that will give Biafrans the possibility for self-determination, whether Biafrans want to remain in Nigeria or they want to opt out of Nigeria. That is the only political solution that we are going to accept that will make sense. So as far as I'm concerned, when you talk about political solution, it is a welcome development. A political solution is a welcome development. But talking about amnesty for MAZI, NNAMDI, KANU and IPOB, it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense to anybody. So that is why we are here to educate our people. That when you hear amnesty, you hear, don't confuse the two. Though amnesty can be a political solution, but that is not the kind of political solution we are looking for, because we have not been found guilty of any crime. In fact, the zoo have not even been able to prove their case in court. So how can you bring me to court? You have not been able to prove your case, and you are saying you are giving me amnesty. Does it make any sense to anybody? It doesn't make any sense to anybody. So the political solution Biafrans are looking forward to is a political solution that will give Biafran people the possibility for self-determination through referendum, because referendum is also a political process. And that have always been our stand. That have always been our stand. And we also had the honorable advocate, barrister, make reference to the Anambra election, where he said that the lifting up of that seat at home was an olive branch that the indigenous people of Biafra sent to the zoo government. That it was an olive branch that the people of Biafra sent to the zoo government to tell them that they are ready to negotiate a political solution, which is a possibility for us to sit on the round table to determine the procedure for referendum. So now, we have also seen that lifting of that election are causing and creating controversies, because a lot of people do not even understand what the IPOB leadership was pursuing when they said they are not going to interfere with Anambra election after long and due deliberation. So many people took advantage of it to blackmail others, saying that people have sold out. But today, that gesture has become a reference point, not just for the local community, but for the international community. That the Biafran people have always been ready for dialogue. That the Biafran people have always been ready to discuss their future on a round table. That the Biafran people have always wanted to sit down to discuss the way forward on how referendum can be organized peacefully. Not everybody have the capacity to understand the level of diplomacy that played in here. It's not for everybody. It's not for everybody. So when you see people give their own interpretation based on their own little understanding, we know where you are coming from. But it is not the duty of, it's not a duty for everybody. It is a duty for people who understand that particular role. It's not a role for everybody. And the people who understand that role made sure that they played that role very well. You know, so for me, it is important that our people get educated in certain, when you hear issues of politics, and not everybody understand, because even in the agitation for Biafra restoration, you cannot count politics out, because the agitation itself is also political. Every agitation has a political undertone, because when it comes to the issue of sitting on a round table to discuss, you don't discuss that with gun in your hand. So even in the agitation, when you finish fighting, breaking the bottle, you are still going to sit down to talk. You know, so the issue of amnesty should not even come into play when it comes to the leader of IPOB, MAZI, NNAMDI, KANU. You cannot compare the Niger, because there is also something that Femi Falana said, and we made reference to the Niger Delta, the Niger Delta, what is it called? The Niger Delta militants. He made mention of the Niger Delta militant and the role Yaradua played to give them a what is it called? An amnesty. We are talking about two different, you see, that is why I said that the Nigerian lawyers, sometimes they contradict themselves, they talk out of point, they just go, they don't seem to, because they just, everybody wants the Nigeria to remain one. The Femi Falana want Nigeria to remain one when you see the way he's speaking. Because they understand that granting amnesty automatically ends Biafra agitation. As long as MAZI NNAMDI KANU leads, if they grant him amnesty, then that means all of us have to just wash our hands. Okay, well, don't grant us amnesty now, so Biafra have to. That is not what we are bargaining for. You cannot grant me amnesty on my right, on what belongs to me. The issue of Niger Delta militant is that they were, agitating for a fair share of the resources within Nigeria. You know, so you can say, okay, we are going to give you fair share within Nigeria. We grant you amnesty for all the whatever destruction, and they themselves too accepted the amnesty even when they were fighting for their right, which is completely shameful as far as I'm concerned. You don't grant me amnesty on my right. You know, but the issue of Biafra agitation is a totally different concept, where people say that they want to opt out of the entity called Nigeria, and you say, we want to give you amnesty. Does it really make any sense to you? I want to leave this marriage, and you say, okay, I'll give you amnesty. I'll give you. Does it really make any sense? It doesn't make any sense to anybody. It doesn't make any sense to anybody. So, as far as we are concerned, the issue of amnesty should never even be on the table. Amnesty has nothing to do with our demand. You have not even been able to convict, up for the past how many years now, Nigeria have not even been able to convict one IPOB member of nothing for even stealing wallet or stealing goat, or talk less of the charges of terrorism, as bogus as the charges were. They have not been able to convict any IPOB member. Every day they arrest people, they detain people, they don't even take them to court. They have not been able to convict anybody. So how do you grant amnesty to somebody who is still innocent? I'm not a law student. I don't have any background in law, but common sense. That is what makes us different as Biafrans, because we can analyze issues. We don't even need to go to law school. It comes natural. So how do you grant me an amnesty when you've not been able to prove my crime? because we have to look at it from every angle, so that you don't just come here with your big grammar, give them amnesty. I mean, does it really make any sense? So you find out that even the lawyers themselves are not even telling the truth. Femi Falana have not told the truth in details. He's only trying to cut and join, charge and bail method of law. But we are here to break it down for them, that you do not grant me amnesty on my right, on what belongs to me. Two things are involved. If the Nigerian government, if the APC Buhari decide that they want to go for a political solution, then it has to be on the basis of equality, where Biafrans have to sit down, they have to sit down, and whoever, if it has to involve international community to be in the middle, then negotiation can start where the indigenous people of Biafra can place their demand and say, okay, since we have all agreed for a political solution, look at our demand. And Nigeria will also place their own demand. So whoever that is in the middle, the international community that is in the middle, cannot weigh these demands and bring their resolution. And the demand of the Biafran people is very, very simple and straightforward. That we want a referendum, a peaceful, well-organized referendum, to determine if the Biafran people want to remain in Nigeria or not. Very simple. So how do you grant a man who wants to exit? So when you grant me amnesty, then I'll just go home with my bag and baggages. And so, okay, they have granted me amnesty, or the agitation is over. I can't, I'm trying to figure it out. The number will be on the screen in a moment so that our people can call in. We want to put the number on the screen so that our people can call in. Please, the number to call in is +39 388 177 9665. Call into the program and share your views on the issue of amnesty and political solution. It is important that we discuss these things because they too need to know that we are not stupid. We know what's up as well. You cannot deceive us with big grammar and think that we will not be able to identify or find out. By the way, just let me go to my dictionary here so that we can I can read out the meaning of amnesty for you. Just give me a moment. Let me switch to my dictionary to be able to find the meaning of amnesty. So I'll be reading out the meaning of amnesty. Now, the meaning of amnesty is
Amnesty. Amnesty.
Now, let us listen.
Amnesty.
Amnesty. If you like, you can hold your pen and paper as I read out. Amnesty means an official pardon for people who have been convicted. Amnesty is an official pardon for people who have been convicted of political offenses. Very simple. Amnesty is an official pardon for people who have been convicted of political offenses. You know, so Femi Falana, I don't know where you people went to school. Or maybe you people are just trying to manipulate the brain of, in this 21st century, 2021. Does it mean that Femi Falana doesn't know the meaning of amnesty for him to be talking about proposing amnesty? Have any Biafran been convicted of any political offense? Have the indigenous people of Biafra been convicted? Have MAZI NNAMDI been convicted? The dictionary meaning of amnesty is here. Please, I would like you to share this program. Please help share this program. Please help share this program because it's very important that people, even we that don't even know law, are now teaching the lawyers. We will not go law school are the ones teaching these are senior advocates. And this is what makes the leader of indigenous people of Biafra, MAZI NNAMDI, go mad most of the time. With these same hard-baked lawyers, or maybe they purposely do what they do. They purposely do what they do. They purposely mislead the public. They do it on purpose. Because Femi Falana cannot say he doesn't know the meaning of amnesty. Amnesty, an official pardon for people who have been convicted. People who have been convicted of political offense. Before you even grant the Niger Delta militant amnesty, were any of them convicted of any political offense? Were any Niger Delta militant, were there any record where any Niger Delta militant, as they prefer to call themselves, because I don't see them as militant, I see them as freedom fighters as well, but they choose the name militant. Have any of them been convicted of any political offense? Have any Biafran agitator been convicted of any political offense? The answer is no. So why the amnesty? I bet I want to share this video. Because these people believe that they can massage our brain with big grammar. And we thank God that today we have the dictionary at our disposal where you can actually go check. And amnesty, an official pardon for people who have been convicted of political offense. Have you even been able to sit down to argue the case of MAZI NNAMDI KANU that you've been jumping up and down? It is the same Falana who said that Nigeria do not have any case against MAZI NNAMDI KANU. It is still the same Falana that is telling Nigeria to give the same MAZI NNAMDI KANU amnesty. My people, does it really make any sense to you? The same Falana who said, let me replay because for those who are just joining in.
Igbo leaders met with President Buhari a few days ago, and the main subject of discussion was the need to find a political solution to the continued trial of NNAMDI KANU, leader of the indigenous peoples of Biafra. And the president said, well, he will look into the request. But in any case, he would not want to interfere with the judiciary or violate the principle of separation of power.
I don't want to talk about the Buhari, what he said about interfering with the judiciary. I don't want to go in that direction because that will take us another long time analyzing. We all know that Buhari, even when Onoge was thrown out of office unjustly, It was an interference on the judiciary. Buhari had been the one manipulating the judiciary. But I don't want us to go in that direction. Where I want us to lay our focus is on the point that Femi Falana, a senior advocate, a point that he raised as regard to the Nigerian government inability, in fact, let me say incapacity to prosecute the case because they don't have a case. Let us listen. Let us listen.
Igbo leaders met with President Buhari a few days ago, and the main subject of discussion was the need to find a political solution to the continued trial of NNAMDI, KANU, leader of the indigenous peoples of Biafra. And the president said, well, he will look into the request. But in any case, he would not want to interfere with the judiciary or violate the principle of separation of power. But can the president take a decision within the purview of Section 174 by directing the Attorney General of the Federation to enter a nolle prosequi?
Well, thank you very much. You will recall that a couple of weeks back, the Attorney General of the Federation, Mr. Abubakar Malami, did indicate that the cases of NNAMDI KANU and Sunday Adeyemo
Sunday
Igboho might be resolved politically. In the case of KANU, frankly speaking, the charges can hardly be proved. One of the counts.
In the case of KANU, the charges can hardly be proved. Which means for Femi Falana, who is a one Nigeria, means who doesn't even want to see NNAMDI KANU leave the next day. If he can come out and say this truth before the world, that Nigeria cannot prove its case against MAZI NNAMDI KANU, because Femi Falana obviously doesn't love MAZI NNAMDI KANU in the first place. So he's not trying to make a case for him. Rather, he's trying to see how all of them can work together to keep Nigeria one. But even in their efforts to keep Nigeria one, they still recognize that Nigeria cannot prove its case against MAZI NNAMDI KANU. The line is open, guys. Call in and make your contribution. The line is open. If you want to call in and make your contribution. Femi Falana in this short clip made us to understand that Nigeria cannot prove its case against MAZI NNAMDI KANU. And the same Falana is still talking about giving amnesty to a man that you cannot prove his case, that a man that have not committed any crime. Dear friends, unonokuya. Are you guys there? Because, I mean, it is just, I cannot fathom the kind of law school that these people went to. Or maybe they are, I believe that they are just trying to manipulate everybody. They are trying to manipulate people to just believe whatever grammar they come and blow in the television. But that is why we are here, to bring the analysis to the world. And this is a senior advocate, for crying out loud. Do you think that such senior advocate would exist anywhere? I'm not trying to, castigate him. But we've seen over the years that when it comes to the issue of Biafra and Nigeria, they try to, manipulate, they try to add Maggi and pepper, because they want this one Nigeria by every means. Ike Chukwu Solomon, the number is on the screen, +39 388 177 9665. +39 388 177 9665. The number is on the screen. The number is also on the comment section. So if you want to call in, check the comment section. It is pinned there. I pinned it up there. Let me see if I can add it up on this side. Just a moment. +39. Just a moment, please. 388 177 9665. Only WhatsApp call. WhatsApp calls only, please. Thank you. WhatsApp calls only, please. So now we can understand when MAZI NNAMDI KANU comes on his live broker, he gets mad at the people that call themselves lawyers, because in their bid to cover up for the zoo, they end up messing their career up. Today, Binta Nyako career is at stake in the bid to cover up for the zoo. In the bid to cover atrocities of the zoo, Binta Nyako career is in danger. So you see how this Nigeria is killing people's career. They try to cover for the zoo. They try to paint it, make it look as if, yes, you know, instead of being objective and realistic. Now, how do Femi Falana, a senior advocate of Nigeria, come and prove the case of his amnesty proposal in a case that had not been proven in court, which he himself admitted that Nigeria cannot prove its case against the leader of IPOB, MAZI NNAMDI KANU? Does it really make any sense to sensible people? Does it make sense to any sensible person? I'll be waiting for your calls as I take a short break.
We need peace, we choose freedom. We need peace, we choose freedom. There was a nation living in peace and unity. Hey, they are people with love and harmony. Oh, yeah. They saw greatness rise up to its purity. With another people of different culture, a different heritage, bias and oppressive. Oh, I see. A nation from trigger of Africa, rising with strength and might and power. In due time, nobody gonna praise us. Rather, you all gonna embrace her. With your flag, with your flag, with your flag, with your flag. Oh yeah. Let the tears of our mothers who lost their children be heard. Let the blood of our heroes speak from now till forever. Let the whole wide world know.
Yeah, so Biafrans, we're back. We have the first caller of this program. Hello, caller. Good evening. Tell us your name and where you are calling from, please.
Yes, good morning from here. My name is Anebo. I'm calling from Kenya.
Kenya, welcome to the program.
Yes, I want to say a very big thank you, Mr. Ikam Patrick, and I want to say good morning from here, fellow Biafrans. You know, Mr. Ikam, you see these people we always praise, we call them San. You know, Nigerians, we like title very well. Title is what matters to us, not as long as they call us professors, even though we don't merit it, it doesn't matter as long as we have that title. So that is why these people we call San. You see these old men parading themselves. If you ask them now, in your years of being a lawyer, what is your record? They use their, what they do, because they have contact with the police. They have contact, they know they use their name, that influence to bail people out from the police stations and to bring people out from prison, and they think that is justice. They enjoy it. So most of them don't want a change of the system, because if the system changes, many of them are going to lose relevance. You understand what I'm saying? The society will not know them again. New ideas will come up. People will know that these guys are nothing but politicians. These people now, this son now, okay, they are so intelligent. How did they end up with Buhari? That is what I'm asking. Because during the campaign time, I saw many of them come to national television to defend a stark illiterate. They were why were they there? How come they were there and Buhari became the president of Nigeria? And their sons, they come to television and they want to tell us how the law of Nigeria works and what makes people educated. They brag and then they go with these titles. They are like the professors we have in our universities. It's just about that title and the money they make there. Without that, most of them it's just business and making money. That is what we see in these sons and all of them. It's just about the fame and the money they are getting from it. They don't know anything. They don't know anything, most of them, or they are using what they maybe
No,
they are
Mazi,
using what they know.
Mazi, not that they don't know anything. Not that they don't know.
So they are using what they know. They are using what they know to feed themselves.
Mazi, listen, they know exactly what they are doing. These are very smart and intelligent people, to be frank with you. But the funniest part is that we are miles ahead of them, because you can always twist the law in your favor. You understand what I'm saying? That is why when you go to court, your case is open for debate. You understand what I'm saying? So your duty is to bring your case in favor of your own client. In this case, Nigeria is a client of Femi Falana.
To them, I get your point. I get your point.
He is defending the zoo. And when you see him speak, but they forgot that we are now in the 21st century. When you see him speak and you don't have that ability to digest what he's saying or to comprehend, you would think that they are doing you a favor. Because the moment they say amnesty, it will seem as if they are doing you a great favor. But it takes Biafrans. That is why we come here to dissect and disgrace them. It takes Biafrans. And that is what MAZI NNAMDI KANU have given to us. The capacity, the ability to be critical in thinking.
Yes.
But when it comes to intelligence, they know what they are doing. MAZI, thank you very much for that contribution.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. And we have another caller. Hello, caller. Good evening, and welcome to the program.
Hello, Mazi.
Yes, good evening.
Ndewo. Mazi, I just want to thank you for the good work you are doing. It's not easy, at least the time we are in now, nobody should sleep. Duty call for everybody to be encountered, irrespective of what is going on. Those who thought that they know it all, those who are new in this, who were new in this trouble, but that they are claiming to be master. I'm just looking at them, I'm just laughing at them. But anyway, the structure that our leader put in place must be guided jealously and protect. Whatever anyone is doing, the person, anyone who doesn't like it, should find his way out. Mazi, I call concerning based on the clip you just played. This is Femi Falana. I even before you could finish the clips, I even commented because I was so annoyed the way that man used that word amnesty. Imagine, and this is to somebody that attaching his degree to SAN. Imagine using that kind of word. Imagine our leader to grant them amnesty. Amnesty, to grant amnesty. Amnesty is not somebody who committed offense or somebody who is a criminal. Did our leader commit any? Did our leader commit any offense known to law that warrant to grant amnesty? Imagine, this Falana is, I don't know what to say. Exactly the same thing with that man called Ruben Awati. These people, I don't know what they see with IPOB. You will see them laughing, but in their minds they have let's say, I will say they have evil agenda.
Their duty is to protect the zoo because it is working for them. But we also have a duty to expose the zoo. So when you see Femi Falana making his argument on MAZI NNAMDI KANU, there is something I said at the beginning that they always contradict themselves. And when they do, they don't even know when they... But it is our duty to show them the contradiction and point out the light so that people can see their stupidity in their effort to protect already a dead country. Because you cannot protect a dead country. Nigeria is dead and gone. And anytime you try to protect it, you always contradict yourself. You always contradict yourself. It is a natural phenomenon. I want to thank you, Mazi, for your contribution. I appreciate. We have another caller. Thank you very much. Hello, caller. Good evening and welcome to the program.
Hello, good evening.
Yes, good evening.
Mazi Patrick.
Yes, good evening and welcome to the program. Can you tell Biafrans your name and where you are calling from, please?
Yes, my name is Mrs. Amadi and I'm calling from the States.
You're welcome to the program.
Thank you. Your topic tonight, one thing we should realize is that the so-called zoo government, Nigerian government, have a way of twisting things and passing out information through their unethical media outlets. We should know that by now, that sometimes when they want to fine-tune or change things to favor them, they kind of throw it out there through their media, of course, and, see how it flies. If the gullible ones will buy it, exactly like you said. If you remember, how they managed to, through the media also, to change the word terrorists to bandits. And so many people fell in line and even started helping the government that zoo government
to promote the narrative.
Promote it.
Yes.
Exactly. And it became the word, now the official word for terrorists became bandits. I mean, where on earth have you ever heard that bandits go after displacing people, taking over their community, killing them, ethnic cleansing, and taking over their lands? All I know is that bandits probably will, will lay you on the way, steal your properties and run. But sometimes they don't even have guns. If they have guns, they just want to do it quickly and get out. And it's not as if trying to take over the country. So they succeeded in doing that. And unfortunately, most of our people too help them to promote it because I guess maybe they don't really know. what the government is trying to do. And this Femi Falana coming to this man, is either his children. For the first thing I noticed, how can a Yoruba man tell me he's forgetting to call Sunday Igboho last name? It's either he's having an amnesia or he's developing dementia. I don't know which one. Is wrong with him. But I think this is a planting. They just want to throw it out there to see what sticks on the wall. If the gullible ones that probably don't know much about the law will go along with it, how can you be offering an amnesty to a man that has not been tried? You already are saying that you don't have a case against him because the charges won't hold in court. And you now saying you are proposing an amnesty to the same man, an innocent man. So it means he's not innocent after all, and the case has not even been tried. Instead of him to come out on national TV and said, let's simply let this innocent man go because you do not have a case to prove against him. If you have a case to prove against him, then go to court, prove your case. Then if you find him guilty, then you can talk about amnesty.
You can start talking about
amnesty. Exactly. So, it's very unfortunate. Like you said, they know exactly what they are doing. They know exactly what they are doing. They're working with the Nigerian government. They just want to, if people will buy into this, and before you know it now, the word
not if people will buy it. What they're trying to do is bringing it to the media and start putting it gradually in the subconsciousness of the people.
Yes.
And by the time they keep on saying it once in a while, amnesty, political solution, amnesty, and all that.
Yes.
You now see people say, well, this amnesty thing. But our leader MAZI Nnamdi have equipped us for a moment like this. That is the job he has done, and he has shown us over the years how to do it. And that is why many of us are here. When we see some of these things, we throw the light on it. And but the funniest part is that even before I came with the topic, I have listened to Biafran's opinion, and I can tell you that Biafrans understand the game. They know that there is nothing like amnesty for Biafrans. The best offer we can get is a referendum through a political solution. Referendums through we are not against any political solution that will bring us referendum to the table, which will be our proposal, which have always been our proposal. So a political solution, you can never rule it out in conflict resolution. You cannot rule out political solution in any conflict resolution. You understand what I'm saying? So on that part, we stand on a political solution that will give Biafrans possibility for referendum. And this is what we have been, the only branch we have been given to the zoo government for years now. We have we were the ones that even started presenting the political solution to them. We started by presenting the political solution to the Nigerian government. So we have been champion of political solution to resolving Biafran issues. Ojukwu did in 1966 when he went to Aburi for a political solution. So we have always been on the path of a political solution. My sister, I want to say thank you very much for your call. Thank you very much.
Thank you. You guys should keep hammering on this, and expose their games and their lies. You are on to them. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for your contribution. So the line is open. Somebody have been trying to reach. Somebody have been trying to call in from the UK. Please call in because we'll be rounding up. Let's take this caller. Hello, caller. Good evening and welcome to the program. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening, Mazi. Thank you very much for picking my call. Hello, can you hear me?
Mazi, Biafrans are listening. Can you please introduce yourself and tell us where you're calling from?
Okay, yeah. My name is Okay. I'm calling from London, Mazi.
Okay, welcome to the program.
Yes. Mazi, thank you very much for the program you're having. You are talking about the news. Feni Farana just gallivanting around on Chinese TV, talking nonsense, or Abi Arise TV or something like that. This man, I thought he's a son or something like that. So his intelligence didn't reach up to what is what crime somebody can commit that warrant the person to seeking for amnesty or something. Amnesty are meant for murderers, kidnappers, or just like Vance, they sentenced to death today. So if the presidency wanted, they should have given that amnesty to Evans, not somebody like MAZI Nandekal. You understand? MAZI Nandekal is a freedom fighter. He never committed any crime. So, but every Biafran should pick this story up. Make it as a topic of the week. Debunk this Feni Farana or whatever he called himself. He doesn't speak for IPOB. He don't even speak for Old Eastern region. Talk more of speaking for the Igbos. Talk more of speaking for MAZI Nandekal. You understand? So he doesn't have any right whatsoever to come out on national TV talking nonsense, talking about amnesty. Amnesty for what? Who did he discuss amnesty with? Before, let him go and talk about amnesty with Sunday Igboho, not somebody like MAZI Nandekal. MAZI Nandekal did not commit any crime. He's a lawyer and he's supposed to know all these things more than ever. He didn't even supposed to open that his mouth to say amnesty, for the first place. So it's kind of nonsense and IPOB press secretary should come out with a very strong.
No, that have been done already, because also Reno Mokri in his tweet also, all of them are looking for soft landing for the zoo, for their country, So all these things you're seeing now is soft landing. How did we save the situation? Because they know, Falana knows that extraordinary rendition of MAZI Nnamdi Kanu is already a crime. At the international, so they are all trying to find a way through Kone, because Nigeria, their way is never straight, but we are here to bring attention to the world. That
let me say this. Yes. Let me say this. You know what these people are doing? These people know they don't have case against this man, so they are trying to make this thing to look like as if they are doing us a favor.
That is what I'm saying. That is what we are saying, Mazi. Exactly what we are saying.
So they are trying to make it to look as if they are doing the Igbos a favor, And I love everybody should commend this. No matter sometimes they do stupid things, but everybody should commend them. This youth, they come out with a very strong statement. They say they should release MAZI Nandekal. Amnesty for who? Who are you giving amnesty? I thank God that some of them start to having kind of sense into them. So MAZI, this nonsense.
Thank you for your contribution. Thank you for your contribution. Thank you. Yes. Yeah. So if you want to call in now, not be saying when I go close, you go begin the call, because I'll be rounding up very soon. We are talking about amnesty proposal. Unfortunately, so many people are even beginning to use the amnesty to withhold their fellow freedom. I wouldn't say. Let me not go there. Hello, caller. Welcome to the program. Hello, caller. Good evening. Caller, can you hear me? Caller, are you sleeping? Let me take another call.
All these old men that want to keep.
Hello, caller. Good evening and welcome to the program.
Hello, Mazi. Good evening.
Good evening and welcome to the program.
I want to thank. Oh, I can hear you.
Yeah, go ahead.
So I want to thank you for this topic, and it's really interesting. But I just want to start with a question. You said something about him being a senior advocate. Is he a senior advocate by merit or by bribe? You understand? Because the Nigerian educational system is not what it used to be. When you look at our professors, our even newly graduated youths, they can't even make a complete sentence in English. You are quite right about what you said about him trying to play on our intelligence and whatever. But watching his body language and everything, you can see that he's a bunch of ignorant trying to play on the intelligence of smart people. Before somebody could come on a national television to say such things, he was supposed to have prepared himself. And the very first thing you did, finding the definition of amnesty was supposed to be the first thing he was going to equip himself with. Because it's a word he wanted to use, you know, to impact on people's intelligence or whatever. He was supposed to be prepared on it. But he never did that. He just came. Because in the zoo, everybody is zombie. Whatever you tell them, they catch it, they get it. We are critical. I think that's
my sister, they know what they are doing. Femi Falana is a senior advocate, and before he gets to that point, he knows the meaning of amnesty. You know, but the unfortunate thing is that they know that the level of education in the zoo is so low. You know, but what they forgot to know is that Biafrans have gotten a lot of knowledge, have upgraded through the teachings of the leader of IPOB, MAZI, NNAMDI, KANU, over the years. You know, they cannot fathom that fact that our leader have taken his time to educate us, you know, to be able to identify lies when we see them. Unfortunately, these days, it's difficult for our people to identify lies, but we'll continue to educate them.
Definitely, and I will say a big thank you to NNAMDI KANU, MAZI NNAMDI KANU, because he is really a great man. He used the philosophical method to awaken our intelligence and our ability to think critically. And I think that's the best thing he has ever done to us. And for that, we have to be forever grateful for that man. He's a great man. So, with that, I'll just say thank you, Mazi.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your contribution. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Thank you very much. Yeah, our sister from the UK. Let's take another call. Hello, caller. Have you called in before?
Hello.
Hello, caller. Good evening. Have you called in before?
No, I was calling, but you didn't pick then.
Okay.
Good evening, Mr. Pat.
Good evening and welcome to the program.
All right. I have, my name is Ojemo Bishuku. I always be the last caller. Good evening for a very nice work. Actually, you are really directing us to the ways of education. You know, on today's program concerning amnesty, the day I saw that and I went to my dictionary to check the meaning of amnesty, and I saw what it meant. I was just pondering upon it, asking myself, how can it be granted to our leader? What does it mean? And I remember when the zoo, I don't know, they were planning to grant IPOB amnesty abroad, and MAZI now they cannot debunk it. Now they have brought it again.
No, MAZI is not amnesty, it was asylum.
Okay, yeah, asylum. Thank you very much.
Refugee status for oppressed indigenous people of Biafra in the United Kingdom.
Yes, exactly.
So there is a difference between amnesty and
yes, asylum. Yes, I remember. But MAZI debunk it now, and there is something that MAZI used to do anytime they debunk whatsoever they want to use to feed our people. After the program, we tell every viewer, go to your Twitter handle, begin to tweet. And now I want to use this medium to encourage our people to begin to tweet. In fact, let everybody begin to tweet. Our leader demand referendum, not amnesty. Our leader political solution is referendum and not amnesty. Thank you very much. I think I put it on your comment section there. I think I put it there. So I believe that the viewer, those that can tweet on Facebook, Instagram, this should be our work for a good 1 week, even more than 1 week. Our demand is referendum, not amnesty. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you. Yes, so, and I mean, why is it that they are in a hurry to give us amnesty in the first place? Why the hurry? You have not even got time to sit down to deliberate on MAZI NNAMDI KANU's case, and you are jumping in to give him amnesty. You have been running away from your court. You have been running away from your court. You have not taken time to sit down and debate or argue his case, and you are giving him amnesty. Hello, caller. Welcome to the program. Good evening. Hello, caller. Welcome to the program. Who is calling me directly? I've told people to stop calling this number directly. It's a WhatsApp call, and it has to be WhatsApp call. Or you can call on Signal. We have series of missed calls. I have to call back this caller because the initial caller cut him off. Let's see if we can get through to him so he can bring his thought on our discussion this evening. In the next few minutes, we'll be rounding up. Hello, caller. Welcome to the program. Good evening.
Okay, good evening.
Yes.
I'm just checking the number, please. Yeah?
Yes. You want to make a contribution?
Okay, thanks.
Okay, you are checking the number. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, please, if you want to call in, I'll be rounding up in a few minutes. We have been able to debunk the amnesty program. Amnesty is not for Biafrans. We do not need amnesty. Our demand is clear. You cannot impose something outside our demand on us. Our demand have been referendum for Biafra. We have marched all over the world. We have demonstrated all over the world. We have taken bullets. We've lost people, casualties. There are a lot of our people who cannot walk today. They are in clutches because of the demand for amnesty, for referendum. Our people, we buried people. People have been killed demanding for referendum. So why the proposal for amnesty in a case that you are even running away from, in a case that you cannot sit down to argue? You brought this case up and you said we committed crime, and you are the one running away from your court, and you are still the one saying you will give me amnesty. Does it really exist anywhere in the world? Does it exist anywhere in the world? It doesn't exist anywhere in the world. So that is why we are here, so that we remind them that this is not 1967 to 70, where you use the news media to blindfold the world and deceive everybody. By now, you people supposed to upgrade now. Now see the analog. Now just see the analog. Where we say we don't go digital since. Now see they bring on our senior advocate to be massaging our brain. You don't know, say an average Biafran is a senior advocate in their right. Even when they don't need to go to law school to be advocates. We are all advocates. We have been trained to be advocates. Please turn down the volume of your listening device. Hello, caller. Yes, I think this caller is not playing along. Hello, caller. Good evening and welcome to the program. Can you please turn down the volume of your listening device? I beg you, in the name of the Lord.
Hello?
Turn down the volume of your listening device, please. I can hear myself. The echo.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, you're welcome to the program.
Thank you very much. My name is John. I just want to make a few comments and observation based on what you've been saying since. First of all, let me correct one impression. Femi Falana is a reputable lawyer in Nigeria. He has fought for the masses. Probably if you made a presentation this morning, you have to take that in context about amnesty. He's a sound lawyer who has been with the people. He's a detribalized Nigerian. He's a reputable lawyer. The second point I want to make is that in any event, Femi Falana knows whenever there is a political case of this nature, whatever thing that's being offered to you, take it and run. Who fights and run away lives to fight another day. If you go back to history, in 1993, Abiola was offered a kind of arrangement, their arrangement. People like Femi Falana and some other lawyers and other activists in Yoruba land opposed it, that Abiola did not commit any offense, that he was being persecuted, that he won an election, he should be sworn in. And Abiola rejected that bail that was given to him. And he died in prison. So please, my brother, whatever thing that is being offered to anybody, especially NNAMDI, our leader NNAMDI, he should take it and run with it and come back and fight again. That is my advice. Thank you so much.
Before you go, can I ask you a question?
Go ahead.
Was Abiola making the demand for referendum for Yorubas? What was, because you talked about contest. Now let's look at the contest on Abiola's case. Was there any relationship with Abiola's case with the leader of IPOB or the Biafra movement in general? Is there any connection?
Abiola was asking for his mandate to be restored to him, to be sworn in as president, that he won an election which has a political ramification to it. If you look at this, it has a political correlation to it. Just like what we are asking for, referendum. These are political colors of any agitation. So first of all, whatever thing that is offered, our primary aim and purpose should be to make sure that our leader comes out alive. If he's alive, the agitation is alive. So let us not too much press against any arrangement, whatever way, whatever name they call it. It's either a bail or a non-prosecute, which the Attorney General can completely enter, or an amnesty, or a pardon, whatever color, whatever nomenclature they choose to use to get MAZI out of the DSS dungeon. Then we can now begin to talk about this agitation further.
So
if he dies in prison, we have not gained anything. So I want people to know that. Hold on. Sorry, my brother.
Yes.
I want people to go back to history, learn from what happened to Abiola in 1993.
Mazi, bringing the issue Abiola, making comparison with Abiola and Mazi NNAMDI KANU, for me, is completely out of question. If the Nigerian government have opted for a political solution, which the Attorney General have in the public made that suggestion and have accepted a political solution, is there anything wrong for us to reiterate our position to say, since you have accepted a political solution from the onset, from the beginning of the agitation, as led by the leader of IPOB, MAZI NNAMDI KANU, we have been in the forefront for political solution, which have always been give us referendum to determine if we want to remain in Nigeria or not. Now, do the Biafran people still have the right, even in the proposal or the quest for the amnesty, do we still have the right to bring this our demand on the table? Do we have that right? That is the question I'm asking. We are not talking about somebody dying in prison now or somebody coming out there, because we know that MAZI NNAMDI is coming out alive, healthy. But my question to you is it within our right that in this political solution proposal that we should also bring this our demand and say we accept? After all, not just accepting, we have been in the forefront asking Nigeria for a political solution, and they have been the one shooting and killing us, you know. Now, this is our demand for referendum. Do we have that right to make that request on that roundtable discussion?
Why not?
Thank you.
First of all,
you have answered my MAZI.
It has to be out. You have
answered my question, and that gives me the satisfaction that I need. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for your contribution. Thank you very much.
All right, bye-bye.
Yeah, so our brother agrees with me that even in the political solution, that we still have the right to make our demand for referendum. He agrees with me. You know, so you cannot impose amnesty on me. If I have to take your amnesty, it has to be agreed upon. But that is not our demand. Our demand is referendum, and Nigeria knows that. You know, so bringing the issue of Abiola in comparison to MAZI NNAMDI KANU, for me, does not even have any basis. Hello, caller. Welcome to the program. I think you have to be the last caller for this evening.
Yeah, Mazi Patrick Ikem. They are talking about a political solution. Referendum is part of political solution. Referendum is political wing. It's a political solution. Ideology. How can you give an ideology amnesty? Do that guy know what he's saying? This ideology. You then not give ideology amnesty. It's a different two things. I don't know why people are trying to people are trying to put words into people's mouth. These two things are different things. Abiola is asking for Nigerian president. His mandate. NNAMDI KANU is talking about ideology. Since that Abiola died, do any person talk about a mandate again? Do they do it? Do they do it? They didn't do it. They used it to compensate Yoruba people for Obasanjo. And that was the end. And they give them public holiday. That was the end about everything about June 12th. This is an ideology. And this ideology, we are talking to go back where we came from. This is who we are. You cannot tell me to leave my father's name to answer your name. How long will I be answering your name? The name that has been my origination. My origination is this ideology, Biafra. And you are telling me you want to give me an amnesty. Then when you give me an amnesty, then I will back down. The 3R they promised 1970. They have never done it reach today. Then what are we saying? Are we living? We are not living. It's better all of us will die and go. Let them stop talking all this rubbish they are talking. It's better all of us die and go. What sort of thing? Even now the KANU came out and said that he need we have millions of MAZI now.
Call out the line keeps breaking.
This is an ideology. This is an ideology. It's not a political. It's not a political party. We are not PDP. We are not APC. We are not NRC. We are not PDP.
Maz, I want to
Maz,
say thank you for that contribution.
Yeah.
And you're going to be the last caller for this evening. Yes.
God bless you.
As far as I'm concerned, I've already asked the question to the caller. Do Biafrans have the right to present their demand for referendum, even in the table of discussion for the political solution? Do they have the right? And he said, why not? You know, so why should we run with what we, according to him, that we should run with whatever we are given? If the Nigerian state have decided that they are going to, oh my God, I just have to pick this call as a matter of necessity and respect for MAZI Zeji. MAZI, good evening. I was already rounding up. I already took my last caller, but I said
yes, MAZI.
Let me give you a special concession. You're welcome to the program.
Thank you so much. I came into your program very late. I was busy with work.
Okay.
Please, there was a brother who talked about the Abiola and our leader. He was using that Abiola and our leader as a narrative to get our leader out of that place first. It doesn't mean that when amnesty is granted to our leader and our leader comes out, that ends our quest for referendum. No. Our quest for referendum continues. You see, you are dealing with uneducated Nigerian justice system. You are dealing with uneducated Nigerian government run by the Fulanis. They will never come to tell you. They know if they end up in court, the court will pronounce our leader not guilty and then set him free completely. For them, it's a loss. It's a slap on their face. So they will look for a way. They will call it political solution. They will call it amnesty. They will do, look for one name to give it, to make it look as if, they are operating based on their power or the case. If they did not, give amnesty or did not say something to release our leader, it will look as if they have lost. What that guy was really saying, I agree with him, is for our leader to get out of that place. Whether they call it amnesty, whether they call it whatever, whether they call it any name at all, they give it. But the bottom line is for our leader to get out of their hand, out of that DSS.
Mazi, there is something I would have loved to ask. In course of granting this political solution, do Biafrans have the right to still present their demand for referendum? Maybe.
Oh yes.
Exactly. That is the question I want to get, and he agrees with me. So that we
100% correct, because listen, they use the word amnesty like that Falana was trying to bring in. When you are dealing with a government, you understand me? This is not a case between NNAMDI and an individual. It's a case between NNAMDI and Biafrans against Nigerian government. So they are holding our leader. The only way they will say, okay, they want to use political solution in order to release our leader, to grant him unconditional release. It doesn't mean that when our leader comes out, because they call it political solution, oh, our agitation or asking for referendum has come to an end. No. Rather, it gives it even a stronger tone, because, mind you, referendum is also a political process. You understand me? It's a political process, which ends up, they conduct the election. Instead of election, we say we want referendum, so that we will also cast our vote to determine whether we want to still be in Nigeria or not. It's the same thing. It doesn't change anything. But that political solution or amnesty is a way for our leader to get out of that place. Once our leader comes out, even it will help the agitation to a different level, because the only thing we are asking that is remaining is referendum. That's what it is. So it doesn't mean that
Mazi, I think you have answered my question already. That Biafrans have the right to put their demand on the table in the course of the negotiation, because there's going to be a negotiation.
Oh, yes.
Before you even talk about the amnesty granted to you, there's going to be a negotiation. If you talk about the whatever political solution, it has to go through negotiation. And my question is, do we have the right that in the midst of this negotiation, present our request for referendum? That is all I want to know. Every other thing that comes later is just by the way.
Yes, yes. You understand me? 100% yes.
Thank you very much, Mazi. You have answered the question. You have answered the question. I appreciate you. Thank you very much. You are the last caller for the day.
Okay, thank you.
Yes. Yes, so Biafrans have given their thought on our debate this evening, on our discussion, if you may like. And many people see this whole political solution and amnesty from different perspectives. People see them from different perspectives. But what we are saying here is that at the end of the day, whether you are making whatever political solution you choose, that the demand for referendum would always be on the table, which is the #1 priority. And that is what we are bringing to the table. So however you look at it, from the left, right, or center, our demand for referendum remains. Until I see you guys again tomorrow, my name remains MAZI Ikem Patrick Dike, and I want to say good evening, good morning, good night, wherever you might be. Have a wonderful day, and God bless you all.
We need peace, we choose freedom. We need peace, we choose freedom. There was a nation living in peace and unity. Yeah. They are people with love and harmony. Oh, yeah. They saw greatness rise up to its purity. With another people of different culture, adherent heritage, bias and oppressive. Oh, I see. A nation from trigger of Africa, rising with strength and might and power. In due time, nobody gonna oppress us. Rather, you all gonna embrace her. With your flag, with your flag, with your flag, with your flag. Oh yeah. Let the tears of our mothers who lost their children be heard. Let the blood of our heroes speak from now till forever. Let the whole wide world know Biafra is our home. Oh yeah, Biafra is our home. Oh, it's my home. Yeah, Biafra is our home.
I reminisce way back 1967. Death toll and the blood couldn't condemn even. Mama screaming, child squealing, pops underground. To